The moment that I've been waiting for is finally happening with Tesla. You see, guys, you guys already know that I'm going all in into Tesla stock. 99% of my entire stock portfolio is in Tesla. And the reason for going all in, it wasn't because of the Optimus, the energy, or even the cars. Yes, the cars will help, but for one thing and one thing only, I went 99% or close to now 100% into Tesla stock was because of autonomy, FSD. That's it. The potential with FSD, I can see this taking the company to the world's most valuable company one day. Car company? I don't think so. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys the data points, the steps that it's taking to move away to be a car company, and the clues that they're going more towards a robotaxi, FSD, autonomy network business, which is the reason why I went all in into Tesla stock. I'm super excited to show you guys this video. I broke it down. I think it's going to be a long video. So if it is, obviously there's timestamps or chapters you guys can skip to go to the juicy part. But trust me, all the notes here in this video is going to be pretty darn juicy. Guys, Tesla is transforming into a different company. And it's the one that I was hoping for and pretty much betting on, and it's happening. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Smash that like button, hit subscribe if you guys haven't already. Let's go. The first thing that I want to show you guys is the data points. The numbers don't lie, and we got to look into that. And the numbers were staggering when I look at it on how Tesla is canceling this statement right here, quarter after quarter and year over year. So let's take a look at this chart. As you guys can see, 2021, all the revenues, Q1 revenues, the profits, Q1 profits, segregated in the energy, the services, the credits, from 2020 all the way to 2023. And I put Q1 2024 here as well because we do go here from the quarters. This will tell us how Tesla, what is Tesla, and where their profits and revenue is coming from the car business, segregated or separated from their non-car business. And that's where we can see how Tesla is, getting this statement to become true. It's absolutely a sheesh moment. So let's just get down to the chase. At the bottom, you guys see here the annual non-automotive revenue to the automotive revenue percentages. Same thing with the profits. And as well, I have separated them in Q1 as well. So we can see how this is changing quarter over quarter because we just got Q1 earnings report for 2020. So let's start off with the entire year of 2020 and let's see what the percentage of non-automotive business revenue Tesla was generating in just 2020 alone, 13.6%. So close to almost 14% Tesla was generating revenue that had nothing to do with the vehicle business. And this includes services and others and energy. In 2021, it dipped down to 12.2%. In 2022, same thing, a little bit higher to 12.3%. But in 2023, almost 15%. A 15% increase, which is pretty interesting. And let's take a look at the profits because the profits are more important when it comes to finding out if it's actually a car company or an AI company and stuff like that. This is more important because this is how the company makes money and can generate cash flow from it. 2020, negative 40%. So we could just say zero here because they were making money on services. They were making money on energy, but services was the biggest hit. In 2021, it was a negative 4%, so much better than 2020. However, though, in 2022, it was a plus 4%. And then in 2023, it almost 11%, which is absolutely crazy. 11% of the total profits in 2023 was non-car related, non-automotive related. They went from negative 40%, we could just call it zero, all the way to almost 11%. More than 1/10 of Tesla's business, all of 2023, had nothing to do with automotive in profits. And for the revenue, 15% had nothing to do from the automotive business. And these are numbers increasing exponentially. Now, that's just the whole year of 2020, every single year, the whole fiscal year. Let's look at the quarterly, which is Q1, which is the most latest data that we got. And let's compare it every single quarter. Q1 of 2020 all the way to Q1 of 2024. And numbers here was even more shocking. I hope you guys have your drink or whatever it is. Make sure you drink it now before you spit it out because it's going to be a very sheesh moment. Let's go with the revenue first. In Q1 of 2020, 14.3% of non-automotive revenue was generated for the entire Q1 for Tesla. In Q1 of 2021, it was 13.4%, so it dipped. In 2022 Q1, it dipped to 10.1%, but then in Q1 of 2023, it went up 50% to 15.1%. But here's where it gets juicy. Q1 of 2024, just recently, 18.4% of the entirety of Q1 2024 revenue, non-automotive revenue, was 18.4%. Meaning nearly 1/5 of the entire revenue was not car related, which is a sheesh moment. But here's the crazier part when it comes to the profits. The profits is where I have to spit my water out. So if you guys are drinking water, whatever you're drinking, you may want to put your glass down for this one. It's going to be crazy. Q1 of 2020, it was negative 113% because the services was down big time. In Q1 of 2021, it was 36.6% negative. In Q1 of 2022, it was negative 2.4%. In Q1 of 2023, nearly 12%, which is just insane. And in Q1 of 2024, nearly 43%. Almost nearly half of the entire profits that was generated in Tesla's Q1 earnings was non-car related. Which is insane. And guys, this does not include the FSD. If we include the FSD, this is probably over 50%, which is insane. This is crazy. 43% non-automotive related for Tesla was profits, which is it's crazy. It boggles my mind. Now some of you guys will go like, oh, but Pejjy, you know, they missed so much in deliveries, right? They only sold 386,000 vehicles where they should have sold 486,000 vehicles if there wasn't any demand problem or if there wasn't any Red Sea incident or an erosion in Giga Berlin or Model 3 ramp and whatever excuses they want to bring. Fine, let's add the 100,000 vehicles as deliveries. They would be making around, of those 100,000 vehicles that was delivered, $700 to $800 million. So if you add that to the net income of Q1 of 2024, which was 1.1 billion, that would probably would have been 1.8, 1.9 billion, which would bring down the rate of non-automotive profits from 43% to 25% to 26%. That's more than a double than Q3. Q1. So even if you want to bring that excuse up, the amount of profits that's being generated from non-automotive business is exponentially growing in Tesla now, and the transformation is slowly happening. And again, guys, this is not even including the FSD. If you want to add that, I mean, we will see what's going to happen in Q2 with all the take rate and maybe China coming online. This number can even give it a 30%, even maybe a 40% boost to it. Maybe 40% is a bit too high. I would say 30% is healthy for that quarter until everyone gets to realize what FSD is. But the numbers don't lie. This is just crazy numbers. 43% of the entirety of Q1 2024 was non-automotive profits. Yeah? Are you convinced enough? No? Alright, let's go to something else because there's more proof in the pudding, and we're going to talk about the layoffs because this is a turning point for Tesla. Just make sure you guys have smashed that like button. So before we get to the layoffs, I do want to talk about back to the financials a little bit because I think this part is important. In Q1, Tesla did report a negative cash flow, but this is because even if they did sell the 486,000 vehicles or 100,000 vehicles more than what they did deliver in Q1 of 2024, well, they still would have come out negative free of cash flow because they spent almost $3 billion in capital expenditures. What other car company is spending $3 billion a quarter on capital expenditures? And this was mainly for the AI and FSD part, which is the reason why I went all in the Tesla stock, which is the whole reason of this video. But anyways, so let's talk about the layoffs. This part is important. So Tesla laid off about more than 14,000 employees 2 weeks ago. Why did Tesla do these layoffs? Well, one of the main reasons was, there was a lot of duplicate jobs and to cut costs. And for some reason, Wall Street thought this was a bad thing, and so that's why the stock went. But they're actually going to be saving hundreds of millions of dollars in just expenses alone, just from that. But anyways, cut that from the thing. Elon here confirms why they did cut, and it wasn't what we think it was. He says here that about every 5 years, we need to reorganize and streamline the company for the next phase of growth. What is this next phase of growth that Elon is talking about? Is that, the next generation vehicles? Potentially. But what are those next generation vehicles going to be doing? That's the real question. And that is going to be where the FSD autonomy and robotaxi is going to come in. This is what I mean when Tesla's transforming to a whole different company. They are transforming to a whole different company when they are removing staff at a record level so they can get ready for the next phase of the growth, meaning that our next phase of the growth has nothing to do with vehicles. Sure, that's our hardware. The more we can sell that, we can increase our software, but that's not going to be our main priority. It's going to be something else, which you're gonna find out on 8/8. See what I did there? And this is the first time Tesla's doing this. Back in 2018, Tesla did the same thing. Elon Musk, Tesla removed about 9% or fired about 9%, laid off 9% of the entire Tesla employees. And Elon Musk wrote here that it's difficult but necessary. Tesla reorganization underway. He did this 5 years ago. And Elon Musk is confirming that every 5 years we gotta do this so we can get ready for the next phase of growth. Now, 5 years ago, it was for the vehicle. It's time to push the vehicles out. It's time to remove costs so we can scale this up. Remember what happened in 2017, 2018, 2019 when the Model 3 was, about to bankrupt Tesla? Well, they cut costs, they found ways to increase money, and just days within bankruptcy, they pulled out, and the rest is history. So what Tesla's doing right now, they're doing exactly what they did 5 years ago, but now they're shifting to an autonomy kind of a company where I think in the next 3-4 years, I predict, and I think this is a certain prediction, that we're going to be looking at Tesla and we're going to be looking at their software margins rather than their auto margins, which is silly. Looking at their auto margins in 4 years' time is just absolutely silly, because if you're looking at the auto margins, you're looking at it as a car company, which clearly Tesla is not. But in 3-4 years' time, when they do have the robotaxi out there, when they do have the FSD in full scale, because now they're just about to go into China, and if they go into China, most likely it's going to go into Europe, Australia, and other first developed countries as well, maybe third world countries if they do allow them. My bet is on, UAE, that they're gonna have that done deal, in my opinion, and that's gonna be a massive income stream for Tesla. And this only has to do with their software margins, which we're all going to be looking at. And that time, the narrative is going to be that, okay, Tesla's going to sell a vehicle. Even if they sell it at a cost, it wouldn't matter because they have the FSD to sell, and that is 60% margins. Think NVIDIA. If I butcher that name, think that with the margin. It's going to be something similar. And then once they license it out, which is a whole different thing, which Elon did say that they are talking to some other automakers to license it out, and they are open to licensing it out to many different levels. And obviously we can't forget about the robotaxi, which that thing is just crazy. You guys can check the video here how crazy the number gets. Now, here's the thing. This phase, I think there's going to be another phase after this, where Tesla's going to be focusing. Right now, the focus is autonomy. The next phase, I would say another 5, 6, 7, 8 years will be another year of massive layoffs, or maybe multiple layoffs in between as well. But for the next phase of growth, which would be autonomy, and Elon Musk drops this bombshell just when I was making this video, saying that I think the ratio of how many, Optimus will be ever built is, he's saying 2 for every human, maybe 3 or 4, as there are many in industry producing goods and services, often for other robots in the supply chain, which is insane. That hurts my brain to have that many robots everywhere. You know what I mean? But it looks like it's going to be in the factories. CERN here, which is a really good analyst when it comes to breaking down these numbers, he's saying that, okay, let's do the math. Bot per human on the planet is 8.1 billion. And then if it's 2, 16.2, 24.3, 32.4, etc., etc. If Tesla can get 20% market share of this, it's massive. We're going to be seeing Tesla in the multiple of trillions of valuation. But this is for the next decade. This is for the next decade or so, or next decade or two. Seeing this happening in mass scale, I don't think that's the thing. But autonomy though, which is the reason why I went all in the Tesla stock, that's going to be happening literally in less than 5 years. And as we can see, it's happening now with all these changes, with the data points, with the layoffs, with the next generation phase, next growth phase, all that. And here's the other hint where I figured out where Tesla is now transforming to a whole different company, and it has to do with their earnings report. And I'm gonna go through with you guys how crazy this is. So smash that like button. So I'm going to be going through this quickly, showing you guys the diagrams and the pictures, and you guys will see what I mean. So in Q1 of 2021, the earnings report, you guys can see diagrams of the car, the market share. It does talk about full self driving and autopilot here, but not too much in in depth. You see energy here, solar, services, all that. Then we get to the photos. You guys can see that it's just about the Giga Berlin, the factories, nothing about the factories, Giga Texas. I mean, at that time, Giga Berlin, Texas was a big thing. Those two things were like one of the big bullish signs of Tesla, and obviously for expansion and for exponential growth. Giga Shanghai here as well, and the semi. Nothing to do with the FSD, nothing to do with robotaxi or AI or anything except for just the FSD autopilot part. That's it. Fast forward 1 year to 2022, we pretty much got the same thing. We only got like a little graph here showing about what the demand is for Tesla. A small section here, actually even a smaller section here about autopilot and full self-driving. We got the energy here, solar roofs, services, and others. Going to the photos and charts, we can see Giga Berlin delivering Model Ys. You can see the factory in Giga Berlin, very exciting. Then we got Giga Texas with the opening party, all that kind of good stuff. The Giga casting, how the thing is made. So again, nothing to do with the robotaxi, nothing to do with the FSD, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Going to Q1 2023 report, things get a little bit interesting. You guys can see autopilot and full self-driving. For the first time ever, we get the miles FSD going up in the millions. This was the first time ever that we got any kind of FSD chart. Maybe we had it in Q4 of 2022 as well, I'm not too sure. But in Q1 of 2023, this was one of, this was fascinating. Oh wow, you guys are collecting so many miles, almost 140 million miles, which right now it's approaching 1.5 billion. This looks like peanuts compared to that. But this was one of the first steps towards, okay, you're showing us more FSD stuff, autonomy stuff, which is cool. We also continue with the energy stuff, the solar stuff, the services stuff. Then we go to the photos and charts. We see a little operating system that shows how energy works, how the vehicle works, how the other product works, supply chain, all that kind of stuff. We see the Cybertruck pilot line a year ago. The Cybertruck was, being ready to start ramping up for the delivery event literally in 6 months later after this report that came out, or in 7 months later. So you'll see a lot of Cybertruck stuff here, Cybertruck pictures. We got the energy mega pack lineup. We got the, 46 to 80 cells. So still about the cars, but a bit less about, not too much. But then you fast forward to Q1 of 2024, things change. Things change for my liking, for the thing that I've been waiting for, and I'm sure we're going to see more of. In the Q1 2024 report, we see this. Not one, but two AI FSD charts regarding full self-driving and AI training capacity, H100 equivalent GPUs. Soaring like no tomorrow. And then they have here artificial intelligence software and hardware, which is something that is, music to my ears. So we almost got a full page dedicated to FSD and AI. So that was something different. Then we got our energy and services here as well. But then here comes the pictures. Here comes where things are different. So the first picture shows the global market for battery electric vehicles in China and other world. For first time ever, we get the ecosystem, which includes the bot, which includes the FSD, which includes the car, supercharging network, auto bidder, energy, services, lithium refining, and ride haul app and insurance. This part's gonna get juicy. We get the Model 3 refresh, which is pretty insane. We get the Cybertruck final assembly line ramping up, supercharger network opening up. So again, something broader from the car company, saying that we are the gas stations of EVs now. Big statement here. Then we get to the big juicy part, preview of ride hauling in the Tesla app. This, I don't know if you guys were watching me in my Q1 2024 earnings live. This spoke just millions of words to me. This picture right here, I'm just like, well, that's it. Autonomy is literally just around the corner. It's almost about to finish with the FSD version 12s and all that stuff coming. It's crazy. And another picture showing the dojo training and the energy here as well with all that, as well as the Nevada Gigafactory with the vehicle cost grind down, all that kind of stuff. So Tesla now in the recent quarter was showing a lot of AI stuff, things that have, things that don't have to do with a car company, right? With a car company. They are slowly transforming and morphing into a AI and FSD company, which does explain their capital expenditures, which explains their investment in AI and all that. Something that I like to see. And the reason why I went all into Tesla stock back in 2020 is because I saw these things happening and I wanted to get in, pretty early before all this. And right now it is still early. I just recently, FSD just got approved, temporarily approved in China, and the stock went up just 15% in a day. And that's just something that hasn't even been switched on yet, and just one country. Just imagine everywhere else. So I showed you guys here how Tesla's transforming into a new company. The data points is showing. Elon Musk confirming that they're getting ready for the next phase of growth. The hints are there in the Q1 report, and just so many more other things that are coming. If you guys are if you're following closely in the FSD or Tesla world, Tesla every 2 weeks is updating their FSD, and it's better than the other. And it's getting to a point where people are like getting addicted to it, and take rate is increasing big time because of the one month FSD trial, and the price being lowered to $99 a month, which is just amazing. So you guys can see clearly how Tesla is transforming, morphing into a whole different company. And if you're still looking at the auto margins, I don't know, man, you're behind. Yes, we are going to look at how many vehicles Tesla's going to be delivering soon as well in Q2. It's fun to track it, but the main thing is software. And for me, the more vehicles they can sell, the better, obviously. But for me, it's like, okay, the more vehicles you can get on the road, the sooner you can just flip that switch and people can just get their FSD, that's where the profit is made. And it's happening already in North America for eligible drivers, not all drivers, eligible drivers. That's how you guys know that Tesla is transforming to a whole completely different company. And it's the moment that I've been waiting for, and I'm gonna continue buying more Tesla stock because I have never been this bullish on Tesla. In the past I was a bit more doubtful, but seeing how this FSD is coming along, yeah man, it's just hard not to be bullish. Some people are very bearish in the short term because of just 1 quarter of data result, which is it doesn't matter in 4 or 5 years time. If you're a long-term Tesla investor, that's how far you should be looking, at least at the moment. But I've never been bullish as much as this, seeing what the company is transforming and morphing into. It's like buying Amazon in the early 2000s, or Apple in the late 1990s. In 10-20 years time, Tesla for sure is the world's most valued company with their full self-driving cars, licensing FSD, robo-taxi. I don't know what's going on with the bot. That's not even included in my evaluation. As clear as day I can see this. Obviously not financial advice, just what my data shows and what the data shows and what I think is going to happen. So obviously don't take all this as advice. That's what I think. Now, a year or two ago, I had no idea how to evaluate the robo-taxi. No idea. But now that we got some more information of how we can evaluate this, the numbers are crazy. You guys can check the video here. It boggles my mind. It's a sheesh moment. Obviously, it's a prediction, not facts. So check it out. It's interesting to know how the scalability of this is insane. Crazy. Guys, get your I Bought the Dip t-shirt. It's a way of supporting me and this channel. And subscribe, and I shall see you guys in the next video. See ya.